they can start to think about where they want to put their passes.
Good hands from Sammy Phelan. Byrne. Nagel. Byrne with a quick pickup, change of direction, scooping through unopposed, and delightful pass over the top for Sammy Phelan. He made that look very simple.
Yeah, it's good manipulation from the Irish. They bring the ball right over, compress all the South African defence, show the quickie, and then just pick up and go the other way.
Ireland up by 3 before the 10-minute mark. Again, despite the South African territory, I think if you looked at a heat map here, we spent about half the game inside Ireland's half, about half the game in that middle section, and maybe 3 or 4 phases max in the South African third of the field. And they do have the ball again through Cameron Bullock, but are forced to turn it over. And Theo, is that the difference between the two sides here? Yes. Ireland just a bit more clinical than South Africa.
Yeah, definitely. Seems like Ireland are winning this middle third, so this midfield battle, every time they get the ball, they're leaving it either on South Africa's 7 or completing their set with a score. South Africa, on the other hand, you know, their territory is not so good at the moment. They keep coughing up the ball. Just like to see them a bit more secure in the roll ball.
Ball over the top, and I think South Africa just tried to pull out at the last minute there. Holly van Jaarsveld didn't want to touch it in case it was given as a knock-on. Another threatening attack. Ben Harris out in the middle there making things happen for Ireland. But a South African transition. Great pace all the way beyond the 10-metre.
Yeah, it's much better from South Africa, establishing momentum, trying to keep this flow in the drive now.
De Bruyne. Another strong carry. South Africa really rolling here. Step off the right boot, then back on the inside, and almost all the way through.
Yeah, so that transition plays seem to have come from Queensland Men's Open and Men's 20s from the recent State of Origin series we've had, so obviously someone's been watching their YouTube.
It's amazing you can pull exactly a move from one club or one region in Australia.
Yeah, so it's quite popular at the moment. You know, flowing off your box, you pull the defence right across, run that splitter on the hard line, and then you can start to pick your passes and ball play off your hand back towards your box.
Well, that ball just goes to ground there. Bit of miscommunication from Afika Maku. But then pulled all the way back here. South Africa, bit of a lifeline for them. Best chance of the game, certainly.
Yeah, it's kind of not either team's finest moment of the 2 turnovers in quick succession there.
Leah Bullock.
Yeah, ball not released, so, you know, play on there from the attempted no touch.
Pretorius. Cameron Bullock. Pretorius gets it on the run. Soft pass on the inside, but just something not clicking in the South African attack at the moment.
Yeah, it just seems to be
coming together there. It was Alex Craig Lilly running back. I'm not sure he really knew much about that.
No, it just seemed to be a bit of a clash, kind of neither party really knowing where they're going. Yeah, it's the location of the strike for South Africa. They've obviously got the talent and the speed to pull it off, but if they're striking so far out from the line, they can't really get anything on it.
Here you go, Ireland again. Hugh Gilmore. And again, another turnover.
Yeah, another miscount there, another 6-touch turnover.
So another chance for South Africa, who've been gifted a couple of opportunities. Leah Bullock. And then leaves the field. Off goes Lily as well. Changes in the offing for South Africa. Nice step off the right boot. High press from Ashley Hardy. Bullock of the Cameron variety. Great line coming round the corner from Liam Svanpol. And Svanpol's there at the half again.
Much better flow into this now.
Ishmael. Takes it again, Jakob Ishmael, but they ran out of touches, and that seems to be something we're repeating every other phase or so here. Finally, Ireland make a break through Kieran Byrne. Seems to be unhappy with something going on there. But instead, the Irish will roll on with a bit of field possession. Adam Byrne still going. Here's Ben Harris to the open side. Harris, loads of space in behind. Good pressure from South Africa. But with a 3-on-1 there.
Yeah, I think his link was open, honestly, when he picked up. She had loads of room. Kind of Yeah, number 14 going to be screaming at him for not giving that ball to her.
Poor Alana Dixon instead tried to pick out Ali Flynn, who was under so much pressure from the winger. Man marking, or woman marking, I should say there. And Jakob Ishmael takes it in. Good hands from De Bruyne.
Yeah, it looks like Ireland have really identified where this South African defence are vulnerable, and that's on the against the grain plays. So you pull a defence over, like show the dummy the quickie or the sweeper, and then go back the other way, and that's where the space starts to open up.
5 minutes or so left to go in the first half. Can South Africa get on the board and punish Ireland for not using this possession? A beautiful score. It's Geldenhuys who puts it over the top, and then some soft hands allow South Africa to crash over. But I don't think it's going to be given. Was it this pass here from Geldenhuys that was forward?
Yeah, touch and pass, just a touch on, really good touch on the ankle there by the Irish defender, just forces the late pass.
Daniel Van Reenen with the final deft touch as well. That is a shame.
Yeah, it really is. It was a really nice play. You know, that's kind of what I was saying earlier. They started to compromise the open side a bit more, really dig into the line and start causing a collapse in the Irish defence.
Well, here come Ireland again with 5 minutes to go before half-time, leading by 3. It's another mazy run by Luke Tanner. Tanner all the way on the outside. Is Tanner going to go the length? Goodness me, what a finish. Yeah. Well, very similar to their opening score by Hugh Gilmore. This time it's Luke Tanner who identified a bit of space out wide. Ball in one hand. There's no question about where he's off to. It's to the races, and into the corner he goes.
Yeah, it's a really great finish there. South African defender was right on his heels, so it would have been a good diving contest there.
What a score for Ireland. And in a game that at times has become a little bit scrappy, it's a few moments of quality that have separated the sides. Touch made by Hugh Gilmore.
Much more clinical from the Irish. Every time they get an opportunity, they're taking it. I'd just like to see a little bit more of that from the South Africans. Got a good strike at the line here.
Sliding in from close range goes Rhys Geldenhuys.
That's a really good touch from the winger there to bite in at the last minute once he knows he's committed to the dive. It's clever play from that South African attack. It's a play we often see in mix. They run that quickie. It was called a fire up. We run an out ball to the boy versus girl mismatch, hoping that our boy's quicker, which is definitely not always the case.
Good pickup over the top, ambitious pass, but good cover from Ashley Hardy. Long ball from Jaden Pretorius. Well read. De Bruyne off the deck. Pretorius, high line speed. Might leave them open here. Geldenhuys. One pass should do it. Oh, it's beyond Johanna Marinopoulos.
That's unlucky there. They've created a nice overlap. Probably would have liked to see them maybe get a strike off of that platform. They exploited the high pressing middles really well, getting the ball to link. Run some form of maybe 23 play, like a little link quickie or a sweeper coming round. Would have been really nice to see what they could make out of that.
Instead, the ball was flung off field, and now Ireland will have possession again with 3 minutes to go before half-time. South Africa stay on our live stream. Up next, their mixed 18 side take on Lebanon, who lost to the Cayman Islands in a bit of a mixed result earlier on the day.
Yeah, I think it was. I think Lebanon ended up being down by 1 in the end. It's really good to see them back at this tournament after their I think it was their, well, certainly European debut last year with a mixed 15s and a boys 18s. It's great to see them coming in and really competing in the mixed, seeing what they can bring.
For now in the under 20s, it's South Africa who would be desperate to get on the board before the break, taken on by Lily.
They just lost it there over the mark penalties. They're transitioning out.
Oh, that's a shame. Tap by Harris. Step off the left boot. Harris onto the outside. One in pursuit, but Harris dives in. I'm not sure he made it.
That's a great touch there. Really good diving touch from the South African.
Great step, though, from Harris to get the move going. Oh, the South Africans race back into position. It's still a promising position for Ireland in the meantime.
Yeah, they've got a full set to work with on this line.
Back on the inside for Harris again. This time he's caught by Cameron Bullock.
Yeah, It looks like South Africa are kind of throwing a pocket shape at the Irish attack, kind of something we see fairly often in mixed as well. They're going to send a high middle on their girls' side and a high link. Maybe not this time, they were doing it last time.
Here's Byrne, and Kieran Byrne. Harris skips out Kieran Byrne, instead finds Adam Byrne, who looks to slide in. 1 minute to go. This is likely the last attack that Ireland will enjoy in the first half. Can they go 5 up at half time? Step off the left boot, miss pass. Oh, well, it was floating through to Ashley Hardy, but a touch on from Byrne just took it away from her.
Yeah, I think the 32 pickup there was the right option to get a bit of momentum into the strike, and I think he picked the right option, just needed his link to leave it, let it go to wing.
30 seconds to go. If South Africa burn these touches without a mistake, they will be through to half-time. Very much still in the game.
Oh, absolutely. You can definitely come back from this far down. We can throw it back to the World Cup and looking at the Cook Islands versus Japan. I think they were 6 or 7 down maybe at half-time. They ended up winning 10-9.
So. A classic. That game's gone down in history.
Absolutely.
For just that purpose. Maybe a chance for South Africa before the break. Instead, the buzzer goes. And I'm not sure, unless they score in miraculous fashion, we'll have anything else to play for.
Oh, we know what South Africans, they do love their last touch plays.
Here they go. Still weaving their way through. On the retreat is Geldenhuys. He does manage to get the ball away. Here's Maku. Can they score before half-time? Maku, ball on the inside. They were asking a little bit too much of their middle there. So at the break, Ireland, the more clinical of the two sides, lead by 4 unanswered points. South Africa staring down the barrel of a second loss in 2 games in this under-20s competition after defeat to England. The home side, after beating Scotland this morning, are confident of keeping it going. Second half to come in just a few moments' time here at the Atlantic Youth Touch Cup in the mixed under-20s competition. Ireland lead by 4. back then for the second half of this under-20s game, which, given the high quality of both teams, has lacked a little bit of something in that first 20. South Africa perhaps just need to shape up a little bit in that final 7. They trail by 4 tries at the moment.
Yeah, it just seems like Ireland are going through the motions a little bit, doing what they have to do. Probably see them come out a bit firing in this second half.
And it's Byrne who might be firing them up. Out in the middle there, men's open player outside of the under-20 setup, and dancing his way around Gellenhoy and then sliding in from close range. And would you believe it, it's a 5th try, and once again it's Kieran Byrne involved.
Yeah, so that's obviously the risk with that pocket defence is once you send those 2 players high, you know, they are very compromised once you take the touch. You'd expect that saver middle, that number 15, to be in a good position, but Kieran does a really good job of engaging him and the toucher and just slipping between them.
Big step to get on the inside of Daniel van Reenen. South Africa now down by 5. As we said at half-time, 4 tries not out of it, 5 also not out of it. Plenty of time left in the game, but they've got to be a little bit more clinical, a little bit more forward-thinking, the South Africans.
Yeah, the Irish have obviously identified that that's kind of where the South Africans' weakness lies, and they're pressing really, really hard to keep them off the 7. It's done them really well so far.
Pretorius' ball over the top finds the green grass of the University of Limerick. Bit of a miscommunication there between himself and Lilly.
It is very, very green, and so we'll put a lot of props to the grounds team because they've done a really good job with these pitches.
South Africa practically blending in here in the navy green. Harris on the inside. Touch made on Byrne. Harris accelerating away. Look at him go. He pins back the ears. Was he caught? Oh, what a touch.
Yeah, it's a really good touch from the South African defender who makes the touch and backs himself to compete both ways and then gets him on the end.
Taken in by Johanna Marinopoulos towards the box. And then ball back towards the edge by Lehi van Huffel. Off goes Jacob Ismail. Good pick up from Cameron Bullock. Oh, there's a slap down there. Liam Swanpole looking to find the link.
Yeah, not sure the Irish player had to do that, to be honest. I think his middle was in a good position to chase out and cover that play.
Bullock. Ismail. Bullock. Here comes Swanpole going all the way. No touch made in the end, waiting for the referee's call, but I think Swanpole knew that he'd finish it off. South Africa have a score. They're on the board for the first time, and they are very much back in this game.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's really nice play from them. You know, they run a strike quite close to the line, got a defender on their heels, and obviously we know about South African speed and footwork. It's pretty much unbeatable.
5-1, South Africa on the board. Quick tap from the Irish on halfway. Quick pick up by Byrne with Gilmore keeping the pressure high. Gilmore. Up comes Geldenhuys to make the touch. Could be a finish here from Charlotte Nagel, but the touch is made.
Yeah, good chase out from that South African defender. Was really brave pre-touch to get up and try and give his middle some time to recover, and he's done a really good job there.
Byrne looking to get away from the South African high press. Oh, there's so many options out wide, but Hugh Gilmore didn't need them, and he scoots through himself. He had to score that, or he'd be in serious trouble from his winger.
Definitely. Very, very good patience from the Irish again, just drawing that South African defence out, running to an edge, making sure that one of them bites, and then just executing the overlap.
6-1, South Africa back to 5 tries behind. And still 50 minutes to go, but this second half already is of a higher quality than the first.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Both teams have obviously had a good conversation at half-time. They're coming out firing, showing what they've got.
Lilly
Sweeper from the South African.
Big step off the left boot from Rhys Geldenhuys. Sliding in, but caught. One more touch for the South Africans to play with.
Yeah, it's really nice work from the South African. They run a really good sweeper line, a lot of good speed, and forcing that Irish defence to cover a little bit harder than they would have liked. they just run that tiny bit earlier, maybe close to the 7, they're going to cause some real problems.
Ireland 6-1 up on the verge of their second victory. If they can just keep a hold of possession, but that's a mistake that South Africa have to punish.
Yeah, they've got a full set on the 7 here, and you'd like to see them go at the line at least 3 times, see what they can do.
First touch made by Harris. Here's Pretorius. Geldenhuys. De Bruyne. Pretorius. Show and go. Harris doesn't buy it.
Good work to win another set there. They're now on the 7, so you'd like to see them go at the line at least 3 times. You've got 3 strikes in a set. So let's see what they can pull out the bag here.
Alex Lilly. Onto the field comes Cameron Bullock, who takes the touch. Lilly with a scoop. Back on the inside. And sliding and weaving his way goes Bullock. Well, the space opened up there, but perhaps he saw it a little late.
Yeah, this is what the South Africans are really good at, is they throw stuff at you that you're just not expecting. You know, you don't expect a scoop and then a switch on first touch. Rolling into their sweeper platform really nicely.
Hard line, South Africa close to the Irish try line.
I think he's going to give that, is he?
A conversation to be had here. Liam Svanpol thinks he scored it.
Oh, I think that's a very tight 50-50 there.
It's gone Ireland's way. De Bruyne. Lilly. Dancing his way towards the Irish line. Svanpol. Harris makes the pass. Svanpol.
Yeah, it's like they've got the Irish defence up now.
Bullock shows and goes, almost through. It's another big touch from Ben Harris. Well, Harris has put in a huge defensive shift there for Ireland.
Yeah, absolutely. South African attack obviously going after him a little bit, making him work hard side to side, but he's stood up to the task there.
Transition, another error in the same area of the field, is it?
No, and Ireland have won a penalty off that, so it's a really good win for them to defend out 2 repeat sets and then win a penalty off their drive. That's going to give them a massive boost.
Kieran Byrne dancing his way around De Bruyne. Eventually caught. Here's Byrne again. Takes the touch. Charlotte Nagel. Byrne. Gilmore. Byrne on the return. Slides in himself. I think the ball might have been dislodged there. Have to wait and see what the referee has to say.
Yeah, so I think what Kieran's trying to say is that he got the ball down before any touches were made. We know that. Ooh,
I think that's a great score.
I think he might have done, yeah, if we look on the super slow-mo replay, which we've got the benefit of up here. Yeah,
and it has been given. Great call by the referee.
Yeah, good call there, and obviously good identification that there's one defender stuck behind the line, and there's some space there to attack.
Got to be careful with these live streams. How long until VAR is a factor
well,
in the sport?
Yeah. You'd like to think that. To be honest, I think the game's too quick for it. To be honest, I don't think you've got time to stop and look at a screen. You know, make a call, get on with it.
Can't wait 5 minutes. The buzzer waits for no man.
No, exactly.
Here's Van Reenen. Carry beyond the 7. But the referee didn't like it.
Interesting. Penalty for hooking in the touch. Don't see that very often, so he's given a penalty against the attacker for kind of wrapping his arm around when he initiates.
Very technical call.
Yeah, it is. It's good work to pick that up. I don't usually spot them, so props to, I think it's Mike out there at the moment.
Holly van Jaarsveld, though, can lay it back. South Africa won a penalty. Van Reenen to the open side. Maku on the switch. Maku, Van Reenen. Afika Maku draws the touch and gets it back again, looking to dance his way around Hugh Gilmore. 6 tries in 11 minutes. Is it happening?
That's certainly possible.
Van Reenen. Geldenhuys to the open side, looks to go alone. Well, he seems pleased.
Yes, so I think the link missed it. Okay, yeah, so the link missed it, but the covering middle's come across and made that touch just before the ball's down.
That was Andre Junior Lee Geldenhuys, not to be confused with Reece Geldenhuys at number 12, who almost scored, and there he is making the tap as well.
Yeah, really good momentum off their box from Ireland now. See what they can work off this.
Carried on by Dixon. Forrest. Good carry by Tanner. And then weaving to the outside goes Lewis Thornton, but he's pulled back.
Yeah, a lot of space on that left edge there if you wanted to use it. I'd say the link was probably a little bit too close to his middle on the scoop. Want to be wide, chopping that hole in to either draw the winger in or punch through yourself.
South Africa transition well, but Ireland catch them on the halfway, and they might not have the momentum to strike with this set of touches.
Yeah, I think this might be rolling into fifth coming now, so they've got close to the 7. Decent strike.
2-on-1 perhaps, but the wing is out there. Oh, great pace, what a ball! Over goes Holly van Jaarsveld, and with 1 touch remaining, they have created a great score.
Yeah, you can never switch off on last touch with South Africa. You just can't do it. They're going to pull something out of the bag, and they have done there. Just static play, a little bit of footwork, gets on the outside, creates an overlap.
Step inside and out to get away from the link. Drew in the winger. Fantastic work. 9 minutes to go, 5 tries in it. South Africa beaten in their opener by England, but only by 9-5.
Yeah, it's a really interesting division. This, I reckon, Ireland are obviously looking quite strong, and we've seen England win their first game, but I don't think we're really going to know what's going on until every team's played each other.
Sammy Phelan hits the deck, but Ireland reset on the 7. Byrne heads to the open side. It's a delightfully weighted pass into the channel for Nagel, but again kept out by South Africa.
So I reckon that might be a little bit of a pre-called play there. You see Kieran picking up and looking on his inside. He obviously wants someone to be running that, what we call a ninja line. So we show the quickie, we pick up, run hard on the outside, and someone runs on our inside there. But well defender from South Africa, no space.
South Africa have to burn a few touches, but they have worked their way up the field well. Penalty, though, goes their way.
Yeah, it's an excellent drive from South Africa, working really hard, winning a penalty off the Irish defence.
Daniel van Reenen hands it off, gets it back as first receiver.
Yeah, unfortunately,
penalty
roll ball
goes the
error.
way.
It's just just the basic skills. You see, Ireland seem to be cleaner in the roll ball, cleaner in the ruck. Like they've had much fewer turnovers coming out of their end. So.
Because South Africa is certainly an exciting and very athletic side. But Ireland, who despite scoring those 2 excellent long-range efforts, have been better in all areas, really.
Yeah, it's been kind of the case with South Africa developing over the last few years. They've always had the speed and the skill. It's just not necessarily the technical aspect of their game. It's come on a lot, and you could see that at the World Cup with some of the quality of their teams. Particularly women's 27s really pushed England quite hard, and very unlucky to miss out on a final. I think the men's open did all right as well, so it was a very good setup to see.
It's an interesting litmus test of how touch is doing, comparing this Youth Atlantic Cup to the last. Way more involvement, 45 teams ahead of 33 odd, 12 countries ahead of 9, and we've even lost 1 or 2 this particular time round, so big growth. But the World Cup as well, 2024 being the biggest one by an absolute mile.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it was really great to see. We've got a lot of new nations in touch, and obviously a lot of the old ones coming back and showing us what they've got. I think obviously South Africa got a couple of bronze medals there. I think men's 35's definitely got one, yeah, it's just really great to see that it keeps going and that we've obviously bounced back after everything that's happened over the last few years.
Here you go, Ireland, through Adam Byrne, inside to Harris. Byrne steps to the open side, there's numbers over, winds a big pass up, but it was just beyond Millie Devlin Merriman.
Yeah, that's exactly where you wanted to be going there. So he's made a very good read on the what we call a saver from the South African. So the non-toucher, his hips are turned in. He's looking at the person who's just dumped the ball, and then we show the quickie and pick up the other way, execute a really nice overlap.
Physical touch there from Byrne. Referee allows it to play on. Geldenhuys gets on the outside. Geldenhuys skips through. Just Harris to beat. What a touch. Almost a tap tackle like in rugby union. What a touch from Harris. South Africa still in a good position. Big step, ball on the outside. This time, Rhys Geldenhuys goes over.
Yeah, really good work from South Africa again. They love that broken play, just getting a defence rolling and seeing what they can create with their speed and footwork. And obviously we've seen that almost a carbon copy of the try previously. A bit of footwork, find 2-on-1 on the outside, and they bring the gap down to 4 instead now.
South Africa have a third score. Here come Ireland looking to respond as quickly as possible. Thornton. Thornton slides in from a long way out. It's a long way down for a tall man like Thornton.
Ref's just having a chat here. I think they're going to award this score.
Ireland are just rolling on like nothing has happened.
I think they're either going to award this or give a repeat set, because from my angle it did look like the ball was down before any other touches were made. Yeah, that's what's going to happen there. So he's done a really good job of getting the South African defence rolling back there, and obviously just got it down before they got him in place.
So Thornton's score is given, and Ireland are up by 8-3, and that might take the game beyond South Africa with just 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, they were looking promising coming out of their end as well, and creating quite a lot of some nice drives, but Ireland probably putting the final nail in the coffin there.
Still, South Africa will drive on. Off goes Swampole. Bullock directing traffic in the middle. Ball back to the outside. Bullock with a quick pickup. Swampole outside him. It's over the top. It's loose. It's a Hail Mary pass, but it goes to ground.
Yeah, it's unfortunate there because they did have a really nice setup actually. They ran what we'd call a doggies play, so sweep it onto the link. It's quite nice in that you've got 2 options. You can feed the link, or you can feed the person that dumped the ball straight back, and they can attack the open side. I think either option probably would have been a good one there, considering they dumped on the middle and how compressed the Irish were. Probably would have been nice to see them do what we call a 2-step, so the half picks up, feeds back to the person that takes the touch, and then attack the open side from there.
Ireland transition as we look ahead to our next round of fixtures. For the mixed under-20s, South Africa will play again later on this afternoon at 5:20. They'll take on Scotland in a game that they would expect to challenge in. Ireland will take on England in what is likely to be a decider in this round-robin format. But our next game live here is from the mixed 18s competition. Lebanon taking on South Africa again.
It's very interesting from South Africa bringing the ball all the way back to Ireland's 10-metre line to get some changes on. You know, I probably would have kept the ball down there anyway.
But still, it might work out for them as they wind their way through. Laid back by Andre Junior Lee Geldenhuys. Van Reenen. Wide pass. Ireland put the pressure on and the ball goes down.
Yeah, it just feels like South Africa are trying to force it a little bit. You know, it'd be nice to see them go back and stick to what they're good at. Stick to the running plays, getting players chasing hard so they can beat them with their footwork.
Well, it's Ireland transition. While we've got you here, Theo, we should talk about the men's 20s, which you are just about not taking part in this season. England-France in that game. It's going to be a huge contest between some really talented young players.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, so from a boys 18s perspective, we had a game against France 20s last year. We only won it on the hooter, and obviously we know that the series was 2-1 in the end, and I think England only won those games by 2 and by 1, so it's going to be a really interesting contest. Obviously, a couple of people aging out and aging up from the 18s to the 20s, so, you know, from an England perspective, it's a side littered with quality.
Beautiful move from South Africa that will be finished off for an 8-4 scoreline with a minute to go. The space just opened up here. And there's the dummy, the last one to see off the link.
I think South Africa might even be winning this second half, so it's been a really good turn up for them to see how they're doing.
They were 4-0 down at the break, so I think all level in the second half. Much better performance from them.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good turnaround at half time. But yeah, going back to men's 20s, this England side's obviously littered with big names. You know, you've got plenty taking part in Opens coming up in Italy. Quite a few, or a couple who were involved in the World Cup. But obviously France, I think they've got quite a few in the world, who happened in the World Cup as well, and quite a few who are taking part in their Opens teams, both men's and mixed. So it's going to be a really, really good contest.
Well, that's our game at 20-4. Our next one is more action from the mixed under-18s. It's Lebanon, who are yet to win a game, taking on South Africa, also searching their first victory. As the buzzer goes here, after a strong first half, Ireland are up by 4 unanswered tries. South Africa rallied in the second half, but could only keep things level. Final score 8-4 in favour of Ireland, who go 2 from 2 with their big game against England yet to come later on this afternoon. Theo, thanks for joining us, and best of luck for the 18s for the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Next game live here at the Atlantic Youth Touch Cup. We move back to the mixed under-18 competition. Two sides looking for their first win. South Africa play Lebanon.